Hi, I'm Andre Faust. Well, today I had the surprise of surprises. I was starting to work on a project and I knew I had some files on one of my hard drives that I had now in storage that I had taken out of an old PC back in the days when I was doing this type of work. And anyway, I was hoping that I wouldn't have to do a whole whack of work and trying to recreate the files. I installed my hard drive and I was trying to access it, and of course, lo and behold, didn't show up. So I pulled the hard drive out, and now what I'm going to try to do with this hard drive, it's a Seagate Barracuda 3000 gigabyte. I'm going to try to recuperate the data onto that. Right now, I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's electronic or if it's the file table that's corrupt. I don't know. It's just telling me that it doesn't exist. And I tried it several times, tried a couple other techniques, and it told me that drive needs to be formatted. Well, for reformatting the hard drive is the last thing that I want to do, because that erases. If there was anything that was recoverable on this drive, it would be gone. So reformatting is not an option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this into a dock, an external docking station, and anyway, I'll start the recovery process. I may be successful, I may be not. So that's, I guess, something that we'll see, because like I say, right now I don't know what the outcome is. I could spend probably maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, and still not save anything, but the data is important enough for me to give a try. So we'll start the recovery process.
Login accepted. Now initializing.
Well, continuing from what I earlier had said, I'm convinced that the problem with the hard drive is not with the electronics, but it's with the file allocation table itself. And what I did is that I used Windows native software. It's a diagnostic tool that's supplied by Windows 10, I believe 7, and I think all versions had this tool to help you figure out what things are. So what we have here, before I start, is we have my C drive, my H drive. That's an I drive, I believe. Unless it's a, not sure what that one there is, but there's a G, and there's my D, and so on. So the problem disk is H. So what we're going to do is go down and looking at the H one, you can see that it says raw, and what that tells me is that the file allocation table is corrupt. There's something definitely wrong there, because it's a raw. But unlike the camera raw file, this is a little different. So what it basically says that the file allocation table is gone bad, and all there exists is ones and zeros, and because the allocation table isn't there, and of course file allocation table is what's referred to as the FAT. Because it's not there, it's non-existent, it's just ones and zeros. It just continues on and on and on. So the system doesn't know how to pull that back, and that's what my hypothesis, and that's what I'm going to be testing. If I'm correct, I will be able to recover that data, but I know how I'm going to have to do it, is that I'm going to have to transfer the data from one disk to the other. So I've got to be sure that I've got another a minimum of 3000 gigabyte hard drive to complete the process. Like I say, right now I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I'm just something, this is the first time that I've encountered this particular problem. So it's one of those things. I'll see if at the end that I'm going to be, I'll get the results that I want to, or will I have wasted 3 hours. So anyway, on with the next sequence. So this is going to take a while. The software is telling me that it's going to be 6 hours and 4 minutes that the process will be finished. As you can see, we've got more folders, and it seems to be identifying and categorizing things by their extensions. And for those who aren't familiar, you have your file name, then you have a dot, and then you have an extension. The extension is usually 3 letters. It's like JPEG, XML, that kind of thing, BMP. So you have your file name, dot, extensions. So it seems to be categorizing on the extensions. So, well, with 6 hours, I guess there's plenty of other things that I can do while I'm waiting for this to identify all the files that I need. Okay, so we'll be back in 6 hours from now. Well, just before we wrap things up, there's a little bit of housekeeping to do. As I've already checked the, I already formatted the hard drive. Unfortunately, those screens didn't come up when I was recording. I have to figure out how to do that in the future. For some reason, it was showing up on my monitors, but it didn't. It didn't record. Oh well, c'est la vie, as we'd say in French. So now that I already have established that it's not it's not an electronic or a circuit problem, it's not a mechanical problem, that this hard drive crashed. It may have been for other reasons besides that. I don't know. I mean, it might have been dropped. It might have been out in the cold. It could be numerous things that caused that drive to fail and specifically lose its file allocation table. Like I've said earlier, I mean, it was all really the hard drive raw is really just a series of ones and zeros, but there's no markers to tell it at the beginning and end of a file, so the computer can't interpret it, so it just rejects the drive. Basically, that's what happened, and I found a solution to that. And we know that I got my data back, not in the format that I would have liked it to be, but the data was important enough for me to retain it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a final check, and anyway, we'll see what takes place. Okay, so it's now starting do its check. I'm not going to, this could take again another couple hours to do. So anyway, so this is a good time to end this. The main thing is that I got my data, and I'm quite sure, I have a lot of confidence that it's going to pass this test. Till next time, take care. This is Andre.
Session terminated. Initializing shutdown.